Thank you for being patient, and thank you for being here on a lovely chamber winter day. The sunshine was ordered by us. My name is Sharifa Jones. I'm the president and CEO of Spencer Chamber, and it's my pleasure to kick off today's groundbreaking ceremony. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Jason Warren. He's the president of the Spencer Economic Development Corporation. So, Jason.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm excited to have a few announcements here. Just wanted to go over SEDC and what we've been doing. We're going to hit some highlights here real quick for you before we pass it off to our groundbreaking celebration here today. But just a new reminder, the mission statement of SEDC is to foster, promote, aid, assist the economic growth and development of Spencer. And we've been working hard on that over the last couple of years here as we kind of reformed what the roles of SEDC are. So we'll show you our current board is listed up there. We've got a nice wide range of people here in Spencer in the community that are great board members that we're able to collaborate with and put a lot of these things and programs together here. So a couple of highlights of what we've done over the past year. $1.2 million in commercial grants that were given out post-flood to businesses. We have worked on the North Y lots, which we'll be talking more about here today. Some of the other highlights are the redevelopment of the old SEDC lots down south by Moose Pond there. That'll be, again, we'll discuss those a little bit more today as well. The sign development, the purchase of the 7 apartment buildings down on the southwest side of town that were affected by the flood. So just a lot of good things that we've been working on here in town to try to make Spencer better and improve what we have here in town. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Kurt here, and he'll introduce our special guest today.
Thanks, Jason. Welcome, everybody. We felt with the weather, but let's do this thing inside and not try to shovel out any snow piles outside today. So appreciate everybody coming in and living with us. We talked about this being a virtual event. It truly is going to turn out to be virtual because Josh Kruger with Talon Development actually will be online joining us today to talk about the project down at Moose Pond. So again, like Jason said, he does a great job of leading the organization. We have an outstanding team of board of directors that are able to help facilitate all these projects. We meet at least twice a month, I think, right now, talking about projects. Still talking about some of the flood recovery pieces of it coming out. And a couple of projects we're going to be talking about today, especially Robinson Funeral Home. We talk about economic development being a marathon and not a sprint. I think Corey and Carrie will attest to that today when talking about getting projects over the finish line. Looking back into the to our folder today is a 2-year project, Corey, from our initial conversation to kind of go through the negotiations. I think we had 3 independent appraisals done on that property to figure out what an asking price should be. Going back to the city council, trying to develop an incentive plan to be able to entice development going into the future, which we're excited about because I think we're laying the foundation of economic development, especially in the North Y, with Corey and his project coming up here in the spring. So with that, I just want to introduce Corey Robinson, his wife Carrie, up here to the podium in a second. I know you're going to do some introductions to really talk about the project, the impact it's going to have here on Spencer, and just lay out the exciting groundwork. So help me welcome Corey Robinson.
Thanks, Kurt.
You bet.
All right. Well, so I'm Corey Robinson with the Robinson Funeral Home. We currently have one location in Spirit Lake, which we serve the entire Lakes area. A little background about myself is I've been in the funeral business for over 30 years. 26 of those years have been as a licensed funeral director. In 2016, my wife Carrie and we decided to move our family to Spirit Lake, which consists of our 3 boys, Spencer, Tyson, and Jasper, from Sioux City to Spirit Lake to become partners at the Shoehart Lentz Funeral Home in Spirit Lake. In 2022, we then took over as sole owners of the funeral home and renamed it to the Robinson Funeral Home. For many years, Carrie and I have wanted to expand our business, especially after being voted this year in 2025 the Gold People's Choice Award from KICD. We've always felt like Spencer was a great place to expand and to provide our services to the community and to the surrounding communities. In 2023, our oldest son, Spencer, came to us after graduation from high school and said he was wishing to become a funeral director and would like to join the family business. He's actually not here today. He wanted to come, but he's finishing up mortuary school right now. So hopefully in August, he will be ready to join us, which is hopefully when we'll be having our doors open by that time. At that time, we decided we need to turn our vision into reality to make room for all of us. We started working with Kurt to figure out where the best place was to make this dream a reality. We've been closely working and looking at different places, what was best. Do we choose a lot? Do we build? Do we what? So we decided eventually that the North Y was the best place for us. After quite some time, we've been working for quite a few years now with the SEDC, the City of Spencer, Northwest Bank, our construction manager, G4 Construction, who specializes in building funeral homes. After months of hurdles and meetings, we are now proud to finally announce that we'll be starting construction when spring arrives. I'd like to now introduce Russ. Russ Carish, he represents G4 Construction and our project. He'll talk to you a little bit more about the building in general, the highlighted features that our building will offer the community, and we'll be happy to take your questions afterwards.
Thanks, Corey. Like Corey said, I'm Russ Karsh with G4 Funeral Home Construction. We're based out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. I've been in the funeral industry about 43 years. Built about 150 funeral homes in the Midwest, most of them in the Midwest. Closest one here would be in Windham, and then we just finished up one down in Red Oak, which is, I think, about 2.5 hours south of here. So I'll talk a little bit about the exterior. We try to go maintenance-free out there. Still trying to figure out the best way to do those timbers that'll help that we don't have to stain them type thing, but there is approximately 65 off-street parking stalls so that the families don't have to walk through some of this wet weather, whether it's the dead of winter or the heat of the summer. A double wide drive under canopy so that they can use for drop off and any handicap accessible stuff. And then either for pickup or for delivery. And then for procession too, that they can load out directly from the front doors to the hearse and then proceed to the cemetery if they so choose. The back side of the building, which you can't see, but the right side is actually the community room. You'll see the glass there. The back side is there's a patio space so that during a visitation, especially the immediate family that spends quite a few hours there can step outside and overlook the Iowa farmland. On the interior portion, we'll have a bigger slide of it.
Next one.
Yeah, there, one more. So there's the interior. You walk in, the bottom part, you walk into the vestibule. It's got an airlock system in it so that you don't lose heat or coolness in the summertime. To the left of it there is a kind of we call a clean office or a reception area or a stationary spot that the funeral director has a control station during the visitation. Well, the right side is the restrooms. That you're moving forward, the ceiling and the chapel, or the community room, the lobby is about 900 square feet with a vaulted ceiling. It's about 12 feet high in there. You move forward, straight forward to the chapel area. It's not quite set up as full as it can be, but when it is, it will hold up to 150 people in there. It'll also have state-of-the-art electronics to either show video tributes. They don't typically do the picture poster boards anymore. And then they'll also be able to live stream the funeral service for people that are from out of state or maybe can't get to the facilities itself. Then to the right side is the community room, so it's right there. That will be set up to show, be able to seat and have a dinner there afterwards. It'll sit about 100 people, and to the front of that is the little kitchenette where caterers will be able to be brought in to have meals served for them, and then there's a little stationary or mechanical room up in the front. To the left side of the reception area is the work office, 3-station work office. There's a private arrangement merchandising room, we call it. A lot of days, today they do more electronic stuff, showing caskets on video slides or computer and not necessarily showing full-size caskets. To the back of that, then we have like a little, we call it a cosmetizing room so that it can be used for multiple purposes. One is if the local hairdresser wants to come in, they're not going into the prep room itself because that's supposed to be OSHA regulated, and it's a little hassle. So, or if a immediate family member can't be available for the funeral service, Corey could quick set up and they could do a final viewing by themselves. Or if they do a direct cremation, they could still come and view the body before it's cremated, and they're not going into the prep room or to the public part of the building with it. To the middle back is the prep room area. That's where all the embalming and the professional work of the funeral director is done. There's a space in the back there that we are setting up for a future crematory. Right now, Corey does have a crematory in his Spirit Lake location. So it's one thing nice about that is this is one of the funeral homes that does maintain control of the body the whole time. So they're not taking it to an outside service. It's always in Corey's care. 3-stall garage will be set up that it's available to wash the funeral service vehicles and that type of thing. And then there's a flower drop off in that lower left-hand corner so that the local florist will be able to deliver flowers any time of the day. It'll be a secured entrance from both sides, from the outside and the inside. So there'll be a countertop in there that they can drop off flowers, so they're able to do it at their convenience. And then there is a cooler area, which is a nice feature in the prep room, that sometimes if they have to store a body for 2 or 3 days, it's confined and that type of thing.
We don't talk about the layout on the outside at all?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's the parcel I think is around a little over 3 acres. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So we're using probably half of it. The brown stripe is the retention or detention pond. You see that the parking somewhat wraps around the building. If you come off of, I think it's 42nd Street East, which is that corner of Second Avenue East, you would literally drive right at the building. If you were going to go to Quick Star and not turn into Quick Star, you would drive right at the building. It's coming that way. So very easy to get to. The building itself too is everything's on one level. Everything's handicap accessible with the number of people that are having disabilities and that. Like I said, there's approximately 65 parking stalls there. We are actually looking at about 7 to 8 months, so it'll be a little longer than you think. But hopefully, for sure, before November 1st, it'll be totally done. Maybe even October 1st. It'll be completed, and hopefully try to start here mid-March. They're actually bidding it out right now, so if for some reason somebody isn't, we do try to use all local labor and materials. I'm not sure exactly this time, about the only time we run into issues is maybe asphalt or concrete on bigger project if we decide to do a concrete parking lot, because there's not every city has an asphalt company in it. But otherwise, local labor and materials from the lumber yards to the electricians, plumbers, carpenters, try to use probably at least 80% local people. I don't have any further information, but if you have any specific questions of, I don't know how, you guys are all younger than I am, so if you have any questions on what really happens when it comes time to make a funeral, or you have a death in the immediate family, who do you really call and all that kind of stuff, Corey would be able to answer some of that. I would be able to talk a little bit more about the building and the features if you have any questions on that. Or going back to that community room too, what's nice, it's becoming more popular. It's called a celebration of life. So that's where they may cremate the body ahead of time, but they'll set it up in there on a table with the flowers around it, and then family members will come in, and it's more of a get together than, I'm Catholic, so, but there's not, the people that are not religious anymore, it's still an opportunity to get together and grieve. I'm a big believer of seeing that dead body. I think that's a good way to have closure instead of immediate disposal.
One thing I want to talk about with the lunch facility is we're going to open up to the community after our hours if we're not doing anything. Graduation parties, if you have a group club or organization that needs a meeting place, you'll be able to go there and meet it. There actually is an entrance from the parking lot on the outside. So you can come in and we can close off the doors to lock off so that they can't get into the building. So you'll have access to just that room. And so we'd be able to provide that for anyone and anniversaries and whatnot. So just a nice meeting place for everyone that can be there afterwards.
Russ, have you already announced the project in general to contractors?
Just like today or yesterday, I think actually Thursday of last week is when they might have initially started getting contacted. We plan to be back here by the middle of March or middle of February, the 12th, I think, somewhere in there, Thursday or Friday, to go through the numbers because we want their involvement on who the subcontractors are and that, because especially with the funeral home, if the heating and air conditioning or there's a plumbing issue, they need immediate response. They can't wait because it usually will go down during a service. So yeah, I would say that we do that the 12th of February and then another month to get the actual subcontracts out and insurance is collected and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully by the middle of March, you guys don't, I'm from St. Cloud, this is nice weather out here today. But I don't think there's a lot of frost in the ground here, so that there's always that little issue of, well, there's frost in the ground. Well, you wait too long and there's too much rain in the air and heat in the summer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, mid-March we hopefully get started and figure about 7 to 8 months at the max to then be done.
What's the total square footage?
It's just under 7,200 square feet. So, and that's really about the standard. I would say 7,000 to 10,000 square feet is, I don't know if I did 150 funeral homes, I don't know if I did 20 of them that were over 10,000 square feet because, first of all, because of the cost, the families are smaller. I was just down in Red Oak. We completed that one probably about 6 or 8 months ago. I was down there Tuesday night. They had a visitation going on and I almost thought there wasn't one because there was only like 6 or 8 cars in the parking lot. Probably 15 people in the building. So the families are getting smaller too. But that's what's nice about the flexibility of this one is they can put the 150 people in the chapel, but then the overflow, if they actually switch it from tables and they set up chairs, they'll get probably close to 300 people in the building. So it's not like you have to go to another location, a church or a school gymnasium or something like that. They probably can accommodate almost 100% of the deaths in the community.
And with some families doing cremation or saying they want to bury later because maybe it's blizzard and cold outside, they'll be able to go from the service directly into and start eating a meal right away. That means 2 separate rooms. And if we get 2 calls at the same time and they just have to have the same day as a visitation, we can host 2 visitations then at the same time.
Steve, is this part of the area where the infrastructure is already done?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Corey, will you be running this, or your son will be running it, or will you?
Yeah, so yep, it's a family business, so I'll be overseeing both. You know, I'll be where I need to be, and I have other staff. I have another funeral director that already works with us, and then hopefully my son will be coming back and helping out. So we'll be where we can, and if we need more staff, we'll plan on that at the time.
Any other questions at all?
Thank you for choosing Spencer.
Yes, it's been a long time, long wish for it to be here. So it's just thought it had happened a long time ago by now, but that's the way it goes. So, and I'll leave the board up there. You guys can take a closer look at the floor plans if you want. I can answer any questions if you really want to look in deeper to it. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Or Corey, I see Josh is up here. Josh, thanks for tagging in here virtually. And Corey, Carrie, thanks for your investment in Spencer. I just want to echo what Councilman Reed just said. And it is a great investment. We look forward to the transition and the development happening this spring when the weather starts to allow. So we're going to go ahead and transition here. We got Talon Development, Josh Kruger online. Josh, can you hear us okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We can hear you as well, which is great. So we're going to transition from commercial development up north to down south to some housing development. So Josh, thanks again for your participation today and your investment into Spencer. And if you would be willing just to talk through your project and what that's going to mean for Spencer.
Yeah, I absolutely will. So thanks for the intro, Kurt. Again, my name is Josh Kruger. Apologize for the photo here, but I'll kind of get to the good ones. I'm here kind of presenting on the Banks apartments. And I'll see if I can pull up a better photo here in the background while I'm talking. But what we have is a 30-unit apartment complex with a separate stalled garage service building as well, located right in the Moose Pond development area subdivision of Spencer, Iowa. And this site was actually kind of a culmination of a handful of older properties, some of which were affected by the flood of June of 2024 in Spencer, and others not so much, but kind of staying in the same floodplain area. And so once those houses were removed and taken down, I know that there was another developer who we've actually worked with in the past that was trying to kind of take this project on while we were actually still repairing Windcrest Apartments, phase 1 and 2 in Spencer there, from the flood that it had on first floor as well. So we finished up, repairing all 88 units on the first floor of the housing that we used to own in Spencer. And then our focus was back to how do we continue to get involved in Spencer housing and get back in the area. And through some discussions with another local developer, this opportunity came about, and it was a better fit for our team than it was for them. And so we worked with them to kind of do a successful transition of all the project entitlements for this one. And that started in September, and we broke ground in November already. So we knew we were under a time crunch, but Spencer still has a need for housing. We know that. I stay in contact constantly with the new owners of Windcrest Apartments, as well as the property manager over there. And their occupancy has remained extremely high. And rental rates are about the same, and there's still a lot of people that are searching for some longer-term opportunities for housing, workforce housing specifically in Spencer. And so we're going to bring another 30 units online of a combination of ones and twos. There's a handful of 3 bedrooms and a couple studios as well. They're I think all but 2 units here have patios or decks on top of them as well. And so there's a little outdoor space. And then adjacent to the property, obviously, we're going to be relocating 4th Street southwest that you kind of see right here towards the back. Right now, it actually runs straight down this line. So we were relocating that, but it still created a lot of open green space for just along the adjacent property lines of this project, and being located right next to the park and the aquatic center. We're excited to get this one opened up later this year yet. I think we're targeting a November opening date. So it'll be a little bit of a soft lease up, but that's what we're planning on, and we're excited to bring some additional housing back to Spencer. So I think maybe if anyone has any questions, I'll definitely take them, or maybe Kurt could relay if I can't hear them on your end. Just let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, any questions for Josh on the project? Timing standpoint, or when do you expect to be taking on occupancy, Josh? I apologize if I missed that part, but what's your time frame?
What the plan is right now is to open up in November of this year.
Got it. And what do you guys typically you do like a pre-leasing event? Is that something you for your other properties? Is that something you anticipate doing for this property as well?
Yeah. I would say if we will have information available for this property, I would say it'd be around the 4th of July time frame. We'll have everything as far as website, rental rates, floor plans, other progress information, and the listing of everything that's included with these units. Which I didn't go over that, but it's our kind of our standard inclusions, which is the internet, water, sewer, trash, so that on projects like this, the tenant is really only paying for electricity plus rent. So,
Kurt, we might want to mention that this is the result of the governor's disaster housing grant program.
Josh, did you hear that? City Manager Robinson just mentioned that this project was a result of coming out of the flood with the governor's disaster housing grant program, which is similar to the workforce housing tax credit. So if you want to maybe just talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, so this was absolutely. I don't want to forget about that. There was a lot of work that went into this project ahead of our time, getting our hands around it as well. But I know that the city of Spencer worked with the other developers, Spirit of Okoboji, to get this application into the CDBG program for disaster relief. And it was awarded the disaster relief grant. And obviously we're pushing the envelope here just due to timing of that grant. So the answer is we will be open by November 1st, no matter what. Because that's our deadline. But through great programs that the state identifies for developers just like this, that helps where cities like Spencer need it most. I couldn't make a project like this work without the grant from IEDA. And it's a one-for-one. It goes straight into the project to make sure that we can get market rents down to the level of what Spencer needs them to be at, even with such a small project. So.
Very good.
Hey Kurt, will there be garage parking with the units?
Yeah, so Josh, there's a question if there will be any garage parking for any percentage of the units on site.
Yeah, so our typical development, we can keep about, if there's 30 units, about 30% of the total amount of units is what we've been able to average at 80% occupied or more. So with 30 units here, I think we were right around that. I think there's 7 or 8 surface garage spaces that can be rented for a small additional fee per month. Otherwise, I think we are actually parking at like 2 to 1. So we do have additional and access parking on this property on the surface lot as well.
Very good. Any on-site amenities for those living there?
The on-site amenities for this project are, the amenities sometimes are more on the what's included. We're including everything but electricity on this end. We do have a few other renter amenities that they can look at through our property manager when it comes to renters insurance and other things like that. We have products that can always save people money. In-unit washer and dryer in all of these units. We've got all these units have LED fixtures, and we have full light patio doors and all the patio to decks as well to kind of bring some more natural light in. And then we updated our finishes to be a little bit more modern with some of the countertops and cabinet selections to get away from the standard, typical brown that everybody installs. So I think the design that we've got fixed for the interior on this one is going to be pretty cool, and I think it's going to grab a lot of people's attention.
Josh, tell us a little bit about what your typical percentage of local contractors looks like in a project this size.
Yeah, so on this one specifically, our earthwork and utilities, is somewhat local to the area. We're working with somebody that's out of technically I think Lake Park, Minnesota. So just down the road from where you guys are at. All of our some of our concrete is done by a local contractor out of Milford. We have some of the, I'm trying to think here, I know all of the trim carpentry, the interior finishes, that is also by somebody out of Jackson, Minnesota area. The only people that, honestly, that I could think of off the top of my head that are from our Sioux Falls area is the actual framing company of the building for wall panels and trusses, and siding. So outside of that, almost everything else is either being provided by local vendors such as Showman's and others, or labor that's in the area of Spencer, Spirit Lake, Okoboji, and Lake Park. So We try to hold true to that for various reasons. One, we love working with the locals. They know more than we do, about their area, and they can be a huge help in coordinating things and getting them done the right way. And two, just less travel. We're traveling to most of our projects where that other contractors aren't, so that we can make sure we get the started, at the same time every day and hold to a schedule. So we've had great luck with local contractors in Spencer, and excited to do another round of apartments in them. So.
What's the approximate cost of the project? Can you share that?
Josh, total cost or total investment of the project estimated?
The total cost for this development is a little over $5 million for everything. That is the total development cost for this.
What does the property management look like after it's leased up?
What does the property management look like, Josh? Is it similar to what you have out at Windcrest, something different?
Right now, we haven't made a final decision. We've had a long-standing relationship with RPM. Real Property Management has been great, and we're in discussions with them if it would be a good fit. But we will kind of update everybody when we do make the final selections. They'll be on our website and everything as well. So.
Anything else? All right.
Again, congratulations.
Yeah.
Great project.
Thank you.
Josh.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you for and great working with everybody over the past few years, and just glad that we had found another project to come back and get together and work through. So.
That was great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you
Thank you.
on online. Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up real quick, I want to thank the corridor, because obviously projects like this, they're an integral part of that and making everything move. So thank you to SMU today for letting us use their facility here. We appreciate that. Thank you to the Chamber for putting this on. Is there any other questions on any of the projects or anything SEDC is currently doing that you guys have? All right. Well, thank you again, Corey and Carrie and Russ, for coming, and appreciate everybody else coming as well. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.